One of the best appointments by President Chamisa was the appointment of Ostalos Siziba as the deputy spokesperson of the Citizens Coalition for Change. The young man is direct to the point. The young man is clear and articulate.
You are a dangerous organization. You are going to lead to a civil war in this country if you win the elections.
Look, I was not even supposed to laugh because he make very dangerous submissions himself. Very unfortunate, but they reflect, as I've said, the position of ZANU PF. And I think that he speaks clearly what is in the mind and heart of the state president, who is a member of ZANU PF. And I think that there will be no problem if we equate in the future discourse in the politics of this country the submissions by him as reflections and beliefs by ZANU PF. Number one, and I hope you allow me to state facts as they are. He talks about a possible war in this country. The 42 years ZANU has been ruling this country without a popular mandate. The question will be that Zimbabwean citizens must be able to know. Let's not talk about what he assumes is going to happen when a CCC government is to take off. Let's talk about what has happened when ZANU PF has been in government. Thousands of Zimbabweans were killed in Matabeleland in a program supported by government, a political agenda by ZANU to create a one-party state. What went down to history as Kukurahundi. Thousands of Zimbabwean people were massacred, brutally killed by ZANU PF. This is what happened under the watch of ZANU PF. Number two, thousands of people who belonged to opposition against ZANU, to ZAPU, were killed and massacred, jailed and tortured by ZANU PF government. You know of Operation Murambatsina. You know how many people were displaced, killed by ZANU PF government. You know what happened in 2000. Emerson Mnangagwa said this, and I quote, Mugabe wanted to surrender power to the opposition in 2008, and I personally, as Emerson Mnangagwa, stopped him, subverted a constitutional will of the people. What followed after that? Long sleeve, half sleeved. How many people were killed by ZANU PF, monitored and regulated and supported and deployed by Emerson Mnangagwa? It's on record, he has said it, and we know what happened after that when he said, I said, Mugabe, don't worry, we are going to deal with it. I'm talking about 42 years of what happened in 42 years. And I want to remind you again of what happened under ZANU PF government. People were killed in cold blood in 2008 for differing politically with ZANU PF. You know what happened even to their own political allies in ZANU PF. He talks about the military coup that they led. They displayed their own members, fired bullets on their houses of their own members in ZANU PF because of the agenda of political power. He talks about retention. I want to talk about this as the second fact. He talks about investment imperialism. What he doesn't know, that while he's here in front of cameras talking about an anti-imperial agenda, ZANU PF under Mthuli Ncube is pursuing a private sector-led economy. Is that not ideologically informed by the West? ZANU PF's open for business agenda is knocking, and I want to quote Mthuli Ncube and Patrick Chinamasa in his days in the Ministry of Finance. He says, if the Bretton Woods institution don't open a door for us, we will keep on knocking, but they are only saviors. What does the Bretton Woods institution represent? They represent the West. They represent white monopoly capital. The agenda that he's talking about of the liberation struggle. And it's very unfair because he himself belongs to the liberation generation. And he knows this as a matter of fact, that most of veterans in this country suffer because of ZANU PF. Why? ZANU wants to monopolize the liberation agenda. But two things which were critical on the agenda of the liberation struggle, which ZANU has bastardized: the sacrosanctity of the vote. Number two, the land question. We went to the liberation struggle, and by the way, ZANU doesn't have monopoly over the liberation struggle, but our own parents fought for the liberation struggle. Do you think that if I was there with my level of political consciousness, if I was there in the liberation struggle, do you think I would have joined the Victoria forces that led this country to independence? Definitely not. But I was not born, and it can't be monopolized to me that I was not part and parcel of the liberation struggle because I was not the part. What I can tell you is that while he is talking about the imperial agenda, while he is talking about the land question, ZANU under Emerson Mnangagwa is giving land back to white people. The reality of the fact which he must be talking about to the people of Zimbabwe is that Zimbabweans, ZANU yakudzosera minda kuvarungu. What they are doing, and allow me to just finish this, because it's a very important issue. ZANU in this present moment in time, they are passing land to white people in Chirets. They are passing the land in Manica land. Wherever, go everywhere. You see this land is being passed out to white people, whether they are from the west or the east. They are being given land in this country. Black people don't have land. War veterans are continuously being vetted every day under ZANU PF government. Why can't we finish the vetting? They use it for political objectives. That's ZANU under Mnangagwa right now. They are pursuing an ideological persuasion of, in fact, ZANU is the greatest right-wing organization in this country. They've gone to the right. The liberation struggle was informed by the left, Marxist-Leninist ideological persuasion. But under Mnangagwa, ZANU is to the extreme right. He knows this for a fact. He knows that the RPZ in this country has been used to facilitate right-wing neoliberal political economic agenda. In this country, that's the economic reality.
Let's allow him to.
You have heard from the young men speaking. It is now your responsibility to make sure that you share. It is now your responsibility to make sure that we defeat ZANU PF. Let's register to vote. Let's put it to our own task to say we must deliver Zimbabwe.